Looking at our world from a theological perspective. This is the Theology Central Podcast, making theology central.
Good morning, everyone. It is Saturday, April the 9th, 2022. It is currently 11:35 a.m. Central Time, and I'm coming to you live from Abilene, Texas. Now, if you listened to our last live broadcast, you know we talked about the metaverse, the future of megachurches. We talked about the church, technology, digital church, virtual reality. We talked about all of those things. And as soon as as soon as the broadcast ended, I stood up, I grabbed my iPad, started walking down the steps. As soon as I got to the end of the steps, I noticed that someone had sent me a text message. Someone I know who works for a large church in Abilene, Texas, a very large church. And they were showing me their new setup for their church, their new streaming setup for their church. And I was looking at it and I was like, wow, they spent, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. They installed, I don't even know how many cameras have been installed. They have, and it's all set up for video streaming of their church services. And they went in, they spent some money. I can probably get the total amount that was spent. And maybe when I get it, I will share it with you. I won't share the name of the church, but I'll give you the information. I know of other churches in the area have spent $20,000, $30,000 for cameras and equipment for their live streaming of their services. And while that was going on, while I was looking at that, I also noticed that on the Sermons 2.0 app, I don't think it's currently going on. No, it's not currently happening. On the Sermons 2.0 app, while I was looking at this photograph that someone had sent me of their church now setting up their live streaming of all of their services. Again, they spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Again, I know of another church not far from me, 30, 40, I can't remember. It was like almost $50,000 for their setup. Just this crazy amounts of money being spent. I also noticed on Sermons 2.0, while all of this was going on, that someone was doing a test, right? They were doing a test because they're getting set up to do live streaming. And guess what I noticed? It was video. So all of these churches, all of this money being spent to do live streaming, it's all video focused. Video. And I even remember, I don't remember which, I was talking to someone from one of the platforms and saying something about audio versus video. And they were like, well, most churches want video. And so so when I was downstairs thinking about it, I stopped immediately, said, turn around and walked back upstairs. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go live again. And I'm just going to ask the question. Now, this broadcast, obviously, once we're done with the live broadcast, it's then sent to every podcasting platform on earth. And you know that I focus on just doing audio. That's how I've always done this. I've always will. But so my question, I guess, is this. This is really what I wanted to turn on the microphone to ask. When it comes to church, when it comes to preaching and theology and all of the things that Christians will try to do using technology, does it make a big difference if it's audio only versus video? Does it need to be video? One podcast that I used to listen to all the time was Chris Rosebrough, Fighting for the Faith, right? Fighting for the Faith. I would subscribe to the podcast and listen to the podcast. Well, he kind of moved away from that, right? Now, I haven't even looked. The last time I looked for a Fighting for the Faith podcast with Chris Rosebrough, it was like 6 months behind in the audio podcast feed. And I'm like, okay, well, forget that. Why even subscribe to it if it's not being updated in any regular consistency? But if you go to the YouTube page, it is being updated, but it is video. And when you look at the video, it's just like he's got one camera right on his face and he's sitting there talking into a microphone, looking into the camera. Like, do I need to see that? Do I need to see his face? Why do I need it to be video? And even if you're going to do video, why wouldn't you make an audio version available and have it updated to all the podcast feeds? I don't understand the church's preoccupation right now. It has to be video. 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 I don't get. Can someone explain it to me? Now, I just saw an article and mainstream news. Now, forget the church. See, I always make a joke that the church is always behind the trend, right? So I just saw, I think it was from MSNBC. It was yesterday, saying, is this the golden age of radio? In other words, have we turned a corner where now audio is king again? And they talked about all of these audio podcasts that are bringing back storytelling, basically like the old radio dramas. Okay, good. Okay, someone just said, I couldn't care less about video. Okay, thank you. I don't know if this is a generational thing, but I could care less as well. In fact, in most cases, like I'll go to Sermons 2.0 and look at all the live broadcasts, but they usually will give you an option, audio or video. In many cases, I'm just going to click audio. I don't say, why do I want to sit there and watch? Well, I'm listening to this. Do I want to watch? And in many cases, it's distracting, especially where the camera is, because you're looking at the people in the congregation going, well, that person's sleeping and that person's not paying any attention and that kid's misbehaving and it looks like the husband and wife are having a fight. Like, to me, it's more distracting. Why do I want the video? I want to hear the word of God be preached. Especially during the pandemic, everybody went crazy. Like, we need $20,000 cameras. We've got to live stream everything, and it's got to be video. But it's just interesting that the secular media just did a whole episode, an article about, are we back to the golden age of radio? But it won't be radio the way we understand, like tuning into a radio, but it's audio podcast. Okay, see, exactly. All right. Someone just said for sermons, audio is easier because you can listen on the go. Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't get, like, we're on YouTube, but we're not video, we're audio. And I've had some people go, why aren't you video? Well, why? I mean, first of all, why? I mean, especially doing this podcast, do I need a camera on me? It would still be me sitting here in front of a microphone just with a camera on my face. Like, well, does that change? Ooh, that changes everything. I didn't understand it way back when Rush Limbaugh, when he started with, I called it the Ditto Cam, where you could watch Rush Limbaugh. Like, it would be interesting. Every once in a while, I would click on it to watch it. I'm like, okay, cool. Okay, that's what he looks like. Cool. That's the golden EBI microphone. Yeah, I listened to Rush Limbaugh too much growing up. Not that I agree with everything, but his ability to hold people's attention for 3 hours a day with almost no phone calls and no interviews was absolutely fascinating to me. I love the fact that he could keep it entertaining for 3 hours a day with not all of the crutches that most people use in radio. So I thought it was interesting. And I love radio as it is. But I was like, okay, so I maybe watched it 2 or 3 times and then I just went back to just listening. I didn't need to see the camera. I mean, it didn't really add anything to it in any way, shape, or form, just maybe for curiosity's sake. So I just don't understand the preoccupation with the church right now wanting everything video. I think actually when I was talking to the people with Sermons 2.0 sermon audio, I think they even said that most churches right now want video. And I'm just like, yeah, it was them. Because when I was talking, I was saying, okay, doing live broadcasts, you have to use the softwares there's these different software options to use to do a live broadcast for the Church One app or Sermons 2.0. And I was looking at the options and I'm like, these options are garbage, man. These are all designed for video. I'm like, is there one that's really just like for audio? And they're like, no, most churches want video. And I'm like, why? I just don't get it. Why? Why is the video so important right now? I feel like the church is actually behind here. I think everyone's moved on. Audio podcasts are dominating. Well, I guess Joe Rogan's, his podcast is a video, but I think, do people watch the video of Joe Rogan's podcast or do they listen to the audio of it? That would be interesting to note. But I mean, audio podcast, if I go to my podcast app right here, hang on, I'm going to go down to Downcast. I'm going to go to Downcast. I'm going to do a refresh. I'm going to do a refresh here. All right. For all my podcast feeds. All right. And I have and this is not an exaggeration, about 513. Okay. They're all updating right now. Okay. It's going to take a while for them all to update because there's a lot of them. Yeah, I've got 2. Well, Currently, I have, the numbers are increasing. I have 5,005, 5,006, 5,008. They're all updating. Yeah, this is just crazy amount of podcasts, but all of these are audio. They're all audio. They're all audio. Like, for example, if I go here, here's one. Here we go.
Boris Johnson's been meeting the Ukrainian president.
They're all audio. And I don't need to see the video of any of it. And like you said, someone said that for sermons, audio is easier because you can listen on the go, driving, mowing. Exactly. So I just, why are churches spending so much money on video streaming? So, there's going to be some of you who are like, I need the video. And that's great. I'm just going to be interesting to see. So here's what I want you to do. Email me, newsif@yahoo.com. We're kind of following a trend today. I don't really know why we ended up on this trend, but we did. I think because the first broadcast was about the metaverse and churches. That's got me. We just kind of, sometimes we stumble upon a theme, not a trend, a theme. And so I'm just trying to figure this out. But email me, newsif@yahoo.com, newsif@yahoo.com. Audio or video? Do you have a preference? Do you even care? Those of you on YouTube, I mean, we're growing in the amount of people starting to listen to us on YouTube is really bizarre to me. I still can't quite figure it out. But there's even an audience for people on YouTube just to listen to something in an audio format. So does it really matter? What does video add to you? All right. So, someone just said, how else will people notice the artificial smoke on the stage during the music if we don't have video? That is true. Some churches, well, you know what? Now I feel stupid. Because you're right. If churches are willing to spend who knows how much money for the smoke machine, for their praise and worship service, and for all the lighting, and for all the stuff they do for their church service, why wouldn't they then go overboard and spend countless amounts of money, thousands and thousands of dollars for video streaming equipment? It just seems, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't understand. This was the other, what night? I don't know what night it was. I was on Sermons 2.0 and someone went live, and I tried to tune into the live broadcast because I tried to see what I'm doing wrong, maybe what I can learn. And it was really, really weird, but it was video. Okay. And it was taking place in someone's living room, right? So I almost just clicked off the video because it was really hard for me to watch. But it's video. There's people are just sitting in the living room, right? I don't know. There was like a couple of guys, right? There's one like a younger boy. They're like sitting on like recliners. They're in recliners. They got their Bible and they're just talking. And one of the guys sitting there had no shoes on, right? Had no shoes on, just barefoot. And I'm kind of looking at like, I don't want to see. First of all, don't even get me. I think sandals should be banned. I think that no one should ever be allowed to wear sandals anywhere on earth. I don't want to see anyone's bare feet ever under any circumstances. Okay. But it was just kind of like, I just tuned in to hear the Bible and I'm now looking at someone's bare feet. Like, what in the name of bubblegum is going on? It was really, 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 really weird. Now, again, maybe that's what people want. Maybe people want to see that. It was just weird to me. Like, so someone decided to go live, and that was the way to do. I don't even have words for it. I don't know, but I'm looking at this setup that my friend sent to me from his church, and it's just crazy. I mean, they got a soundboard. It looks like they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cameras. It's like insane. I'm like, are you making a movie or live streaming a church service? Okay. It's like, you get enough equipment there. They're going to be, coming next week. I mean, it's like, you're going to have voiceovers and I don't know. I just don't get it. Why is it? And I'm going here. I'm going here to make sure I'm not missing any comments. Okay, good. All right. I'm just not sure. and it may be my own personal bias. So I've got to hurry because my wife's coming back with food. But I wanted to run up here just to throw this out there. And the people listening currently seem to be perfectly okay with audio. They're perfectly okay with audio. And I think most people are. So why is it that churches jumped on the video bandwagon? Why is it? And the person on Sermons 2.0 who was just testing a little while ago, it's cool that you're trying to set up the camera, but do you need the camera? Do you? I mean, do you need the camera? You just need a microphone and go live. I wonder, is it worth the extra effort? Is it worth the time? Is it worth the trying to figure it all out? And then if you just have one camera, it's just one steady shot. Does that, I mean, typically, and so that what a lot of churches do, you can't just do that. You got to switch from camera to camera to camera. You got to have different angles because people will just get tired of looking at a standalone shot. And I just think it just becomes like a big production where you just turn on, like at our church, we just turn on the mic, boom, and I push a button and we're live. So there's one person listening who goes to a larger church. I don't know the name of the church. I don't want him to give me the name of the church, but I'm pretty sure they do live streaming. I'm assuming they do live streaming. So I'm just curious if he could tell me right now, does your church do video streaming? And if so, were you a part of the conversations? And what was the reasoning given to go to video versus audio? I'm just curious if they do video streaming, because almost everyone, because of the pandemic, went to video streaming. And I'm just curious to know, like, were you in the meetings and what was the rationale? Well, people have to see. If they don't see, it doesn't count. I'm just curious. What was like? We have to do it. We need cameras and we need all of this equipment. So I'm going to wait and see. Hopefully he's still listening. Okay. Yes, they do live streaming. Didn't start until the pandemic. All right. And is it video? All right, so they do live streaming on Facebook. Facebook seems to be where churches definitely have focused. It just seems weird. We're going to do live streaming on Facebook. Isn't Facebook like so yesterday? I mean, hasn't the younger, hasn't Facebook, like the younger people, okay, it's video. So the younger people moved away from Facebook. So are you only, what's the goal of the live stream? Is it just for people missing? That would be interesting. So it is video. So why were you a part of the discussions about going to video? Oh, wait, you can't, I don't think you can live stream on Facebook with just audio. I don't know the setup. Can you just live stream audio on Facebook? I don't know if you can. I guess you could get like just a graphic to put on and people would just see the graphic and it would just be audio. Okay. So Facebook is just the easiest. I wonder, is it that easy? That's interesting. So is Facebook easier than the Church One app, Sermons 2.0? I know this is not riveting audio, but I'm just curious. So, is Facebook easier than Sermons 2.0 or the Church One app? Because with the software, it seems like it would be pretty simple. Facebook may be cheaper. I don't know. Would it be easier? I don't know. I've never went live on a Facebook account, so I don't know what would be like. It is it's the easiest and it's free. Okay. All right. So it is easier and it's free. And so I have to ask this question. If you weren't doing video, would the same number of people tune in or would people drop out? Like, do people need the video? Like if you were to take a poll in your church, all right, we're going to get rid of the video live streaming and we're just going to do audio. Would everybody like, burn the church down? How dare you? I need to see what's going on. I wonder if it would be like, we have to see it. It just seems so weird that the church is so committed to video streaming today. And I think the pandemic had everything to do with it. The pandemic changed like everyone, like, buy video cameras. We need video cameras. Go get the video. It's like, we're in the middle of a pandemic. What does the church need? We need video cameras. Okay, a little bit of hyperbole. Okay, so they think it would drop a bit. That's interesting. That is interesting. Because we never live streamed video ever. Now, at one point we have a camera. It is installed. It's not currently, we don't think it's currently working, or it wasn't working to the TV that was in the nursery. We probably have to go up there and figure out what's happening. We had a camera that was mounted right above the doorway that leaves the sanctuary. And it shows it showed all the pews and the pulpit. And we could have tapped into that to do live streaming video, but I just never thought but to be fair, we don't live stream the whole service. We just live stream the sermon. So, but even if, I know on, the TV got broken. Okay, that's what happened. Okay. See, I'm well informed about what's going on. Okay, all right. The TV got broken. So it's just weird because before the pandemic, lots of churches would live stream, but they would do so on radio, and nobody I've got to see it. Well, some did television. I don't know. I'm going to argue. Put it this way: I think if you're a church and you want to get online and start doing broadcasting and trying to get, your preach and teach and online, I would say don't be so worried about the video. I would be more worried. This is my view. I would be more worried not about video. I'd be more worried in getting your content on every platform on the planet Earth, from Pandora to Deezer to Amazon Music to Spotify to Pocket Cast, Downcast, you name every other Pocket Cast, Radio Public, TuneIn, iTunes or TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio. I mean, I would want put your content everywhere, to me, would be more than important. And almost 90% of those platforms are all just audio. Most platforms out there are audio anyway. They're audio only. So why would you be why even try to be doing the video streaming when most of the platforms are audio only? So then you would video live stream, and then you have to take the audio from the live. It just seems like just do audio from the first place, and then just immediately have it sent to all the platforms in an audio format. I just don't get it. I'm going back to this picture my friend sent to me, and I'm just looking at that setup, and I'm like, that is insane. It looks super nice. It looks super cool. It really does. I'm like, man, they went in. They've been working on it for I don't even know how long. And it's just, I'm like, man, okay. I guess in one way, I guess technically I could say, okay, that makes sense. So someone says that their church is probably looking at this as a service for the membership as opposed to reaching people across the world. So they're focused on live streaming, and it's simply for the people who can't be there. Hey, if you can't be at church, tune into the live stream, and you'll get to kind of be there because you can see everyone's faces, and you can see everyone in the pew, and you can see who's missing, and whatever. Okay, but you can be there. Okay, I guess maybe that's the difference, as I never viewed it that way. I guess from the very start, I'm like, hey, we're a small church in the middle of. I guess if you're a big church, you probably think differently. If you're a big church, hey, who cares about the rest of the people? No, okay, I'm not saying that. But if you're a big church, you have already kind of you've got a lot to deal with right there. If you're a little church in the middle of nowhere, you can feel like, man, what are we accomplishing? You can kind of feel like we're not doing much. So I always immediately hey guys, we're not going to think we're not doing much. We're going to do a lot. We're going to try to reach people around the world using the technology. So I think it's a different mindset. So I think maybe if you're just worried about the people who are missing church being able to tune in, you may think video. And if you're just thinking about getting your content out to the world, you may think audio. I don't know. I know Stephen Furtick, who I completely disagree with his theology, I know he does video, but when I subscribe to the Stephen Furtick podcast, I get the audio. I don't care about the video. I don't care about Stephen Furtick and what he's wearing this week. I don't care. I'm listening to how he's handling the scripture, and am I going to hear some messed up theology? And is someone going to be talking about it tomorrow? I think Mark Driscoll, for his new church, I believe they do video as well, but I don't care. I subscribe to the audio. I don't care about the video. I just could care. Of all the Christian podcasts I've subscribed to, which there's a lot, not one of them do I care about video. And like I said, I wish Chris Rosebrough for Fighting for the Faith would go back to having an audio podcast, because I don't care to watch the YouTube video. I have no desire to sit there. I guess I could turn it on and just leave it on, but in many cases, if you go away from YouTube, at least I think on my iPad, it stops playing. You have to keep it on the video. And I'm like, no, I don't want to be able, I want it to play and I can do whatever I want to do. So I don't know. All right. Thanks for listening. I'm sorry. Didn't want to waste anyone's time. I will be back later today to do more important things, but I just was curious, audio or video. So you let me know in the YouTube comments, audio or video, newsif@yahoo.com. Audio or video. You may not think it's important, but I think it's just kind of like a non-scientific way of just trying to see all the money and all the effort for video streaming. Is it really worth it? Is it really, really worth it? I'm more than willing to say that maybe I'm just out of touch here, but I really feel like the MSNBC article about the golden age of radio, they're talking about, hey, it's an awesome time. It's like going back to the early days of radio where you had all of the radio dramas, which I love to listen to them. I listen to them all the time. If you have Sirius XM, Radio Classics, you can listen to all the classic radio dramas. I listen to them all the time. Love them. Because it's just something awesome to listen to the audio. You have to, your mind paints the picture. So I think it's just really cool. And I just think audio podcasting, not only is it easier, simpler, cheaper, it gives people complete freedom to just do whatever they want to do while they're listening instead of trying to watch a video. And even if you look at the video, what are you really providing? Like if you watch the Joe Rogan podcast, okay, there's Joe Rogan with a pair of headphones on talking into a microphone. After about 5 or 10 minutes of that, the video really doesn't provide much. There's nothing like, if I don't see the video, I'm missing out. So I guess churches who use PowerPoint, a work of the devil, okay, I guess then if they're doing video, they could then show on the video feed maybe the PowerPoint so people could see the slides that they're using. I know I hate PowerPoint with every ounce of my being. So, or if they go to a church and they have someone who can make cool charts, in the video feed you could show everyone the charts. So I guess that could be a benefit. It's like if we were using video, I'd be like, what could we do with the video? Just watching me walk around the sanctuary would not be very entertaining. So I'd be like, what could we show on the video feed? I guess you could show the scripture reference. That'd be cool. I guess if you are, but then you got to spend half the week preparing all of the video slides. Like, I don't know. I just don't get it. But all right, I wanted to ask the question. That's the danger. I guess that's the danger of having a microphone that I can go live with anytime, is because, well, I can just talk about whatever. So there you have it. Audio or video. Love to get your thoughts. Those on the Discord channel, I would love to get your thoughts. Audio or video. Do you care? Email newsif@yahoo.com. YouTube comments. Audio or video. I mean, you're on YouTube and you're listening to an audio podcast. Clearly, that seems to imply you're not that worried about it. So, do you have a preference? And if it's a church service, do you have to see it? If you could just hear, if you heard the music, heard the announcements, heard the prayer, heard, listening to everyone while they're taking the offering, whatever they do for the live streams, for all of that. Do you have to see all of it, or does it really matter if it was just audio? And if it is video, how much do you pay attention to the video? Or do you just kind of turn on the video and walk away and do your own thing? Are you sitting there actually watching it? Or do you find yourself listening to look, if people are listening to a video feed and they're not watching the video feed, that proves the video feed is useless, right? So how many people turn on the video feed and then they're not really watching it, they're not really looking at it? Well, then that would prove my point that the video feed is useless. But why does it seems like everyone seems to acknowledge that churches want video right now. They're not worried about audio. That's just bizarre to me. All right, I'm going to go eat, and then I'm going to see what baseball games are getting ready to start. And then I got to get everything ready for church. So it's going to be baseball, church prep, and live broadcast. That's how the day is going to go. So just have your notifications on the Church One app, and you'll know when we're going live. All right, everyone have a great day. Thanks for listening. God bless.